We're learning now Perek Beis Halacha Yud Beis, Omot Pei Aleph. Tzor HaKoyer Likrois Aseres B'nei Homon, V'Asoro, V'Aseres B'Neshim Achas. You have to read Aseres B'nei Homon. So you might think only B'nei Homon. No, or even Aseres as well, B'Neshim Achas. Let's go down to the Peirush, and the Peirush below it says, with the word V'Aseres B'Neshim Achas, in order to let everyone know that they were all hung and killed as one. Machon Nesher Megillah, 16b. Hilchos Megillah cites that Rav Yor is not sure if you don't do it, whether that you're yotze or not. Meaning, Kol Yisrael is Megillah Poishet Ki Yigeres. That the one who reads it, when he reads it, he already spreads it out before he reads it, not as a scroll, but as a flat letter. To show the miracle. And when he completes it, he goes ahead and winds it back up. Only then do you make the second bracha. You read after the Megillah or after it has been wound up. The Magen Mishnah adds that the Riv, the name of Rae Gann, cite in the Hilchos Megillah, bringing from Rav Tzemach Goin, that you read it and you have it wound like a Sefer Torah, not flat. And that was the minig in the two yeshivas in Bovel, in Beis Rabbeinu Shebebovel, in every place of Yisrael. And so Rav Plati Goin writes in the same fashion, but Rav Hai Goin writes that the reader should make it flat like a letter. And when you end it, then you roll it up, and then you make the bracha. And so the Sefer Mitzvahs writes in his name. We find his name of Rae Gann Family, the shlit tzibur, v'chein hinig Maharam Rothenburg, and so did the Maharam Rothenburg do as well. Hilchos Megillah cites that nogu not to stop, but rather to read the posuk and go into the next posuk without any neshimo, like you read letters, continuous. And so we find there Rav Yehuda ben Yitzchak. However, Rav Tzemach Goin stopped every place that he wanted to, because when you read it b'neshima achas, if there would be such a need, the Gemara will let us know. That's the case. The Rambam doesn't mention this minig, and he cites the Masechta Megillah 16b, Amar V'ado min Yafoi. In Aseres, you have to read in the Shema Achas with one breath. And he doesn't mention that the Seif Posik that before should also be in Shema Achas. I don't know when you would read them in the Megillah, but the world says Chamesh Me'ezis V'Shpandos of Shema Achas, even though Chamesh Me'ezis is not part of that page. And it's a wonder that the Gemara says B'nei Homa B'neshima Achas. Tell us that their souls left their body and one at the same time, simultaneously. And that was not by the Chamesh Me'ez Ish. And therefore you don't have to read Chamesh Me'ez Ish in one breath, together with Es Parshandoso. And from all of these things, the Maharam Rothenburg says you can stop between posuk and posuk. That's interesting because in the Torah, if you don't stop between posuk and posuk, you're not yotze. The Magen Mishnah, in the beginning of Hilchos Megillah, Chanukah, cites that the Rambam first writes about Megillah before Chanukah, because in time sequence, Purim was before Chanukah, and it's also Kizvei HaKodesh. He asks, why did he then, when he explains to us the obligation of the Megillah, he should have first told us about the Megillah itself, and then about when you read it, as opposed to, he should have flipped Perek Aleph to be Perek Beis, and Perek Beis to be Perek Aleph. And he answers because the Megillah is the Rabbanon, and therefore he wanted first in the din to tell us what it says in the posuk as to how one has to read it is found in the posuk, and therefore that's the reason for the first parak is to tell us what we learn from the Megillah, how one should read the Megillah, and then he goes into the Megillah itself. And we'll turn the page, and the second chapter he explains doesn't have to do with the actual writing in the Megillah. Even though he writes Yemei Mishta v'Simcha, it doesn't mention the Isra of Hesped that you can't eulogize or fast on Purim. Furthermore, the Isra of Hesped and Tainas is even in order Aleph when you don't have the Megillah. So you see, it has nothing to do with. It has to do with Purim, but not in a significant fashion. And furthermore, the Kriya is the main thing, and therefore he had to tell us the laws of Kriya. Shulchan Aruch, Paskins. One has to say Aseres B'nei Homon and Aseres with it in one breath. Let everyone know that they were hung and killed together. The more adds, that's only the Hatchila. The Eved, if you made him, if you couldn't do it with one breath, you yoitza. This is like in Toisvis, in the Vavudaham Marila, no more. Continue. That to begin with, you should say it with one breath. From where? From Chamesh Meis Ish, even though that's not part of Aseres B'nei Homa. Now, we mentioned that Agos Maimonides questions why we say Chamesh Meis Ish, since they, with one breath, since they didn't die together B'nei Homa. The Mishnah Berurah brings in the name of the Ma'aril, who says in the name of the Rekeach, the 10 B'nei Homon were Sori Chamishim on the Chamesh Meis Ish. That's why they were Chamesh. These were their disciples, and therefore he put them together. In other words, these were directly underneath the Aseres B'nei Homa. But the Mishnah Berurah says that somebody who has a very short breath, he cannot read everything together, so it's better to read from Parshan Dosa, because that's brought in the Gemara, not from Chamesh Meis Ish, which is Minik. The Mechaber continues in Tuv Reish Tzadik. You should say, "O Haman Bor Mordechai, Aru Azerish Bucha Esther, Aru Gal Shem, Aru Gal Tzadikim." And some people don't have this girsa. You have to say, "Gam Chavoina Zochol Toiv." There's a Minikol Yisrael that the one who reads and reads and spreads out the Igeres to be the one who's the Balkaira to show the Nes. When he finishes, he rolls it up and you make a bracha. Mishnah Berurah adds that those who hear it do not have to spread it out like any Igeres. The Sha'atzian brings in the Pri Megadim that everyone does spread it out. What does it mean to spread out like a letter? Mishnah Berurah explains he spreads it out completely, and he doesn't leave it rolled up, but rather you do it one page on top of the other, and it shouldn't be on the ground, and it shouldn't hang on the table or the stender, because that's not nice. And he should spread it out before he makes the bracha. There shouldn't be a hefsek between the bracha to the reading, and after the kriya, you wind it up first, and you put it on the bima, you make a bracha, because it's a gnai for the Megillah that it's not to be rolled up before you make the bracha. There are more sites, those who are noig to say in the Megillah 4 psukim bal peh and loud, or not bal peh dafka. You can look inside if you have a Megillah, but it means the people who have a chumash can read it. That's Ish Yehudi. Mordechai Yotzo, Ayudim Yisrael V'Simcha, Ki Mordechai Yehudi. And so we're noig in our dinois, and then the reader reads it again and completes the Megillah.